Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello, welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where we have discussions from the worlds of social media, sports, pop culture, and we always have hockey talk. We're speaking to a hockey player, of course. He plays for the Victoria Grizzlies in the BCHL, and he is committed to Boston College. Alex Newhook is with us. Alex, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Kind of icebreaker question. Everyone kind of has a point in time in their hockey career where it's kind of like a turning point, you know, whether it's added, pee-wee, Bantam, midget for a lot of them. What was kind of the turning point of your season where you started to take it more seriously and said, yeah, this is where I'm going to kind of make a living and play hockey?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me personally, probably the year when I left Newfoundland was probably the biggest year for me. That would have been my second year Bantam. So, my major Bantam season. I left Newfoundland and moved to Ontario, played for York Simcoe Express there, and went to St. Andrews College. And I think that was a big move for me in my career and in my life to move away from home that young and to really take that step forward. And I think it was a good thing for me, and it was a good step in really taking hockey more seriously and wanted to do it as a lifestyle and hopefully as a career. So I think that year for me was definitely the biggest.
What was kind of going through your head? I mean, you're living in Newfoundland, moving kind of to the Toronto area. I mean, it's something that it must have been a lot to process when it first happened.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big move, and I think I was 14 at the time, so moving away, not really knowing what the competition was like in Ontario, and not really being around that environment before was definitely I was a bit nervous going in there, but quickly adjusted and really enjoyed my time there. Really enjoyed the people and the environment there, and I had a great time.
Having a pretty strong start to your season in the BCHL with the Grizzlies, what do you think is attributed to the strong start? Talk a little bit about the team. Talk a little bit about kind of the atmosphere for you this year in the BCHL.
Yeah, definitely. I think our team got off to a little bit of a slow start, like just at the beginning of the season, but quickly turned it around. We've been doing well lately, and we have a lot of guys. We had a lot of guys come in this year that have been really good so far, and I've been lucky to play with a few of those guys, and that's definitely helped our team. And at the same time, being a second year guy coming into the league is definitely beneficial, and knowing what it's like in your second year is it's beneficial and it's good that way. And I think that's definitely helped myself, and for the returning guys on our team, it's helped our team, and I think those are probably the factors so far.
I want to know who Alex Newhook is on the ice, and I want to know who Alex Newhook is off the ice.
Yeah, I think on the ice, I'm a guy that's pretty competitive. Always wants to win. Always wants our team to do the best they can, and always tries to push the guys next to me to be their best and to do what they can to win. And I think off the ice, I'm a guy that guys get along with pretty well. Try to be a leader in the room and just be there for guys and be there when they need me and just be a good team guy.
I find it very interesting, Alex, because we talk about it a lot. I mean, the state of junior hockey in Canada specifically has evolved in such a big beast, especially into the BCHL, the CCHL. I'm from Ottawa. That's the league we follow and everything. And it's just amazing to see that even at those leagues, there are kids in these leagues, but they're basically like kind of thrown in this situation where you have to act like a pro. You got a pro schedule. You're on the road all the time. You're playing a full season, but then you also have school. You're committing to other things. How do you balance all of that? Because it must be tough at times, but I mean, does it ever come to mind where it's like, man, like this is crazy. Like I have like a full-time job on the ice, and then I'm ready. I'm going to Boston College soon. Like I got to prep for that.
Yeah, I know, definitely. It's definitely something that you have to balance, like you said. Going to school in the mornings for us. I think there's like 4 guys on our team that go to school, so there's 4 of us, and having to balance school and then going to the gym and going to practice. It's definitely a heavy schedule, but It's good to keep busy and to be doing stuff all the time, and not only being at the rink and being in the school environment, stuff like that is kind of nice at times, but at the same time, it does get to be a lot sometimes, and getting proper sleep, recovery, all that kind of stuff is a big factor in that, and I think just being able to focus at one thing at a time is a big thing in junior hockey and in schooling, environments, stuff like that. So I think it's just a level of balancing that and being focused one thing at a time.
It's a big year for Alex Newhook. Not only do you announce that next year you're going to Boston College, but it is a pretty important year. It is your NHL Draft year.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I find very interesting because, it's very early, but early buzz is that, you're looking to go in the first round of the NHL Draft. If you look at all the scouting reports, I mean, you have to focus on the task at hand right now, which is the Victoria Grizzlies and the BCHL, but that's some confidence and some stuff in the back of your head throughout the whole season. Like, it cannot be there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being in your draft year is it's something that's pretty exciting, and it's a year that I've worked towards my whole life to actually be here this year. It's exciting, and but at the same time, like you said, it's a big year for our team, and just being a guy that's focused on our team, and I have to be that guy, and everyone on our team does to be focused on winning, to be focused on doing what we can at specific times, and it's always in the back of my head, definitely. The draft, and it's hard not to be in the back of your head, but just focus on the team, focus on what I can do is the biggest thing for me right now.
Two-part question right now. You have chosen to go the NCAA route. You have chosen to go the school route, Boston College. So two-part question. For you specifically, what was kind of the reasoning behind choosing to go to NCAA and Boston College? And then another question that just in general, what do you think is kind of the appeal to playing NCAA in the last couple of years in general?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think for me personally, when I went to St. Andrews, I really got to see both sides of the CHL and the NCAA. Got to go down to a few schools and experience some games, and then got to go down and tour a few schools as well, which was good to really look into both of them and really know what both sides are like. And I think for me personally, I went down to the Northeast and Boston College really stuck out to me. Really, had a good feeling about the school, had a good feeling about the coaching staff, campus, all that kind of stuff, and really thought that it's somewhere that I could fit in. And for me, just being there and being in that environment, the schooling environment, college lifestyle, and playing top level hockey as well is something that really stuck out to me. And being able to do your schooling at the same time, just in case to have that there is great. And that was probably the biggest factor for me.
No, absolutely. A lot of things to kind of look forward to, but you've also had a lot of cool things that happened so far in your hockey career. What has been kind of the coolest thing that Alex Newhook has been a part of that you've kind of taken this year in your big year with the NHL Draft year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was probably the U17 challenge last year was a really big tournament and a big thing in my career to be able to wear the Canadian jersey for the first time was something pretty special, and to not do as well as we wanted to, but still be a part of that group and being part of that that event was pretty special.
There's always going to be kind of room to improve, and people take their NHL Draft year as kind of that opportunity to kind of polish things, tweak things, work on new things, just absorb as much, lessons as much as possible. Because, the NHL Combine, before the draft, it's like a whole big thing. What are you working on specifically this year in terms of your game to kind of get better or stronger or fat? Like, what are you kind of working on?
Well, I think for me, speed is always a huge thing for me. Just being able to do everything at a quicker pace is big, and it gets more important at higher levels, and being able to translate your speed to to get into pucks quicker, to beating guys off the rush, beating guys to pucks and stuff like that. And I think more specifically this year for me, just beating guys to pucks before it's actually there, and winning battles, quicker and being a bit more intense like that with guys along the boards and in puck battles and stuff is a big thing I want to work on this year, and I have been working on.
No, absolutely. Let's step away from the ice for a little bit. I want to know about you. What are because the misconceptions is that like hockey players do nothing but hockey and think nothing but hockey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is that like? What do you like to do that's not hockey related?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the off season, I usually go back to Newfoundland and spend a lot of my time there in the off season. But I think, well, for me growing up, I played soccer competitively growing up, which was a big thing for me. I stopped playing when I moved away just because it was getting too much to be doing two at the same time. But just hanging out with friends, family, whenever I can, just getting away from the rink and doing something different. But I've always played soccer, played a bit of basketball, rugby growing up, but. It's been multi-sports for sure.
So that's awesome. That actually kind of sets me up for my next question. How important do you think it is for athletes to play more than one sport?
Yeah, I think it's huge, especially at a young age to be able to not just be doing one thing, to be able to get away from hockey for a little bit. I think it's big, and to be able to play soccer, I think was a big thing for me and for any hockey player really, because of what comes along with that. The cardio comes with it, the foot skills, even little stuff like kicking pucks up to your stick, stuff like that. But yeah, any time when you're younger, especially getting away from the rink for the summer and really building up the nerve and the want to get back playing hockey is I think it's big for anyone that's young, and I think it's a great thing.
Two-part question right now. For people that are in your draft class, people that you maybe played together, in the World Junior Age, the World U17 Challenge, or people that you've met along the road, who from the 2019 NHL Draft is kind of some players that you weren't that familiar with, that you kind of discovered, you're like, man, these are really impressive players, and then who in the NHL, Alex, are players that you kind of not may model your game after, because I'm sure Alex Newhook wants to be Alex Newhook, but who are some players that you kind of are very impressed with and inspired by their game a little bit?
Yeah. In the draft class this year, I mean, it's cool seeing guys from Europe come over. I mean, it's hard when you're younger to know a lot about those guys just because being from North America is not really that familiar with those guys, but definitely seeing guys like I think Kaliev playing for Hamilton. And some of those guys that come over to play here is pretty cool to see them, to see what they're like and see how they do in North America. And then second part to that question, I think for me, I've always been a Calgary fan, so pay a lot of attention to those to Calgary. But in general, Sean Monahan being a centerman, I like to watch and model myself, not model myself after, but really watch to see what he does and try to mimic some of the stuff he does and. In that sense, and also Johnny Gaudreau. I mean, it's hard not to look at the stuff he does and be learn from that kind of stuff and see what he does to help myself.
So I'm curious, because as a centerman, I want to know, what do you think about that stigma attached to centerman? Whereas like teams kind of build a team around centermen, and if they don't have good centermen, they're not going to have strong starts and strong breakouts. What do you kind of think about that? I'm interested because you are a centerman.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's definitely a very, I don't know what the word is. You need to be trusted in the middle, that's for sure. Need to be reliable because you're in the D zone all the time, really helping out low and being that support guy, being that guy that's usually getting the puck off, little battles and stuff like that. But I think in terms of centerman, just being a strong centerman through the middle and being good on draws, being good in every area is a big thing for any team, and to have that in the middle it definitely helps teams out. But at the same time, being a guy that can switch from the middle to the wing is big, I think, as well for any forward. But yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Alex, I think we'll wrap up. So first off, thanks for joining me on Pop Alternative, man. This was a blast. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And last question for you. What are kind of the, I mean, the goals, like the long-term goal is obvious, the NHL, but what are some kind of short-term goals for Alex Newhook?
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, like you said, like the this year being draft year is a big one, and really looking at the end goal and being playing in the NHL is obviously my end goal. But this year and specifically, the U19 Canada West is that tournament's coming up. So I mean, hopefully be a part of that team, be a big part of that team, and hopefully we can do well there. And then other tournaments, other opportunities with the U18 after Christmas. Who knows, what happens with our team and that kind of stuff. But just being a part of those special tournaments, special events this year is a goal of mine. And but obviously, yeah, looking at the end goal being playing in the NHL and developing to be a player in the NHL.
Absolutely. Where can people follow you on social media? What are the handles?
Yeah, I'm just Alex Newhook _ on Twitter and Instagram.
Can't just get the Alex Newhook?
No, no, it's I don't know if it's available.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. And no, I wish you all the best with Victoria and all the best for the rest of the year and for the NHL draft, man.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative for the video episodes, iTunes, Spotify for the listening only episodes. Until next time, this is Alex Newhook and PD Pete's signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popturnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.